as I've watched the BRAC process occur, and as I've watched how dependent our state is on growing our workforce, and the idea that we would have policies in place that would actually drive veterans out of this state to other states seemed to me not only something that we needed to change to honor our veterans, but also something that we needed to do to improve the state's economy. This state invested through our National Guard bases and through Wright-Patterson and others into a process of BRAC where we would hopefully keep our military operations here in this state. And we have a lot of military contractors and so forth that either are here or have the opportunity as in Ohio to locate here. We definitely want to do all we can to help grow jobs in the state. One of the things as we've watched over time the BRAC process occur in places like Wright-Patterson Air Force Base and others say we need military contractors. We have the opportunity to leverage some of the research and the things like that that are going on in our military bases, that we need a workforce to support it. And oftentimes you hear military personnel say, well, Ohio doesn't really do what it needs to do. We actually drive veterans out of this state because we tax their pensions. And as we look at building an economic strategy in the state of Ohio, which we have invested in as a state to get more leverage from the economic opportunities that Wright-Patterson and other military installations and contractors provide us, we need to do more to keep the workforce here. We need to capitalize on the opportunity to make Ohio an inviting place. 35 other states address this issue, yet Ohio doesn't. And today is an announcement that I believe will be a winning strategy for our veterans, for their families, and for the economy of the state of Ohio.
This certainly should be a great enticement to those veterans who are retiring and choosing where they want to live out their retirement or go into a second profession to help choose Ohio. By enacting this legislation, Ohio will join 35 other states that either entirely do not exempt or partially exempt pensions from their state taxation. And we just want to say to our veterans that Ohio is the right place to continue living and being a productive member of our economy.
Well, as a retired Air Force colonel, I am very proud to see the state of Ohio making strides towards honoring our military men and women who have chosen to serve our nation in defense of freedom. For those who say the state cannot afford to give up this tax, I would remind them that the military is a young person's organization. Men retire after 20 years, and most are forced to retire when reaching 30. Many in their mid-40s have not had the stability or the resources to invest in a home, and so must seek another job to maintain or improve their lifestyle. Thus, Ohio gains the additional compensation and tax revenue from the second career of the retiree, the spouse's job, and investment interest. If the retiree leaves Ohio or does not come, that tax revenue, in addition to property taxes, gasoline, and other taxes, are lost to the state, the county, the city, and the school district. Seems like exempting state tax on military retirement pay is a good business decision to attract and retain experienced talent. Thus, we do need to make Ohio more attractive to our military retirees, and we need to overcome the challenges of obtaining a strong workforce to fill the BRAC positions. This legislation will greatly aid in those endeavors and at the same time honor our retired military men and women for their service and dedication to our country.
Of those members, when they choose a location to retire, one of the first conversations that occur is where is the best tax benefit for myself and my family when retiring. I've spent 25 plus years both active duty and reserve, and I've personally participated in numerous conversations about that very subject. This legislation is key to that decision-making process and is key in retaining those individuals in the state of Ohio that we desperately need to advance our aerospace and defense industry in this state.
I want to emphasize the importance of the fact that we, not only in this particular circumstance, as we come up on Veterans Day, are honoring our veterans with this legislation, but this is also part of an economic strategy that we've been trying to promote in Ohio that makes Ohio more attractive. Military personnel, they oftentimes are stationed throughout their careers in many different places. Mobility is something that they're accustomed to. They have friends all over the country. They have many choices as to where they can locate. There are people that demand of their talents and services throughout our nation. And this is a step that we are taking in Ohio to try to send the message to them and to other businesses that might want to locate where they have a rich talent pool, that we want you, that we value you, and that we need you in our state. It is important not only to honor them and their service, but it's important to the economic future of the state of Ohio that we begin to aggressively recruit the talent that these people provide and the work ethic and the dignity and honor that they can bring to our state. We talked in the budget about the importance of math and science education. We put hundreds of millions of dollars over time in math and science education in this state to try to grow our own talent. As I mentioned to you, if you look out over the future of our state, our population is expected to remain relatively flat, population growth, that we're gaining more people, that we're losing people in their prime workforce years. And if you consider the amount of money that we spend trying to educate people, this really makes a lot of sense in trying to retain the talent that already exists here through our military, or that we could recruit here through our military. It's a dual strategy that we're trying to take as a state to make sure that we have the talent, and it's also it sends a strong message. Think about the fact that you have 35 other states that have worked to try to do the same thing, and yet we lag behind. Ohio can't be a laggard anymore as it relates to trying to retain the quality workforce. Whether you're in Cincinnati or Cleveland or Toledo, Lima, there are plenty of businesses out there that need the talent of these individuals, and so today we're talking about this. But I'll be clear to you, I am concerned about the future of Ohio's economy. I am concerned that we are not doing enough to grow this economy. That we've taken that we have taken great steps with tax reform over the last few years, but for anybody that thinks that was the end, that we somehow have done enough, they're mistaken. They're sorely mistaken. We need to do more to grow the state's economy. There are people out there all over the globe working every single day to try to make sure that they're creating jobs on their home turf, and sometimes that means that they win and we lose, and we need to win more than we lose. And this is another way of trying to pull in some of the best talent, the most hard-working, loyal Americans that there are, and say, we want you to be Ohioans.